Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head up to Stockholm and we're going to visit a brewery who I've never tried anything from, but these guys have been around for a little while actually from what I gather. So for this one we are going to go to Stockholm Brewing Company, and this time we're having a taste of their Hallon Sour, which comes in at 4.1% ABV. So to translate that into English, this basically is a raspberry sour beer. Supposed to be quite nice, and I've heard some good things about this brewery as well. So looking forward to trying this one, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this beer. So anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that hopefully I can do in the future from Stockholm Brewing Company. Very first time I'm trying one of their beers, like I said. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Stockholm Brewing Company then. So as the name suggests, this brewery are based in Stockholm, and they were founded back in 2012 by Niklas Jakobsson, Thomas Hallgren and Niklas Lenkel. So they were joined in 2016 by Mimi Pettersson, who joined the company to increase the sales of the brewery, and she has a background from the restaurant industry, and in 2018 they were joined by Emil Törström as well, who runs the restaurant. So they're apparently the first craft brewery in Sweden to open up a tasting room at their brewery, and they had a little bit of a kind of process through the Chamber of Commerce to actually make this happen, but finally they were able to do it, and for a number of years they ran it, but there was a disagreement with their landlord at their original premises which stopped them being able to open this from what I gather. But by 2016 they were brewing around 150,000 litres of beer, and the brewery were originally based in Söder in Stockholm, but they've now moved in 2018 to a new place in an old brick house at Frihamnen, which is out to the east of the city, and they'll be the first brewery to actually brew in that part of the city, which I think is pretty cool. But they're also going to have a restaurant at their brewery out there as well. But they have a small farm outside of Stockholm, and apparently a chunk of the things that they're going to use in the restaurant are produced out there. They've got a few animals and they're growing some stuff as well, so quite an interesting operation they've got there, I guess. And the current brewer at the brewery is Michael Vigart as well, and these guys, from what I gather, do have a considerable tie to Wicked Wines, who are one of the companies that import a lot of foreign beers into Sweden, and they do sell quite a few of them through Systembolaget as well, so they do have a considerable tie to that company from what I gather. Ollie Bartlett, who runs that, has been involved a little bit with this brewery from what I could make out from the beer news articles that I was reading. But yeah, an interesting brewery, one that's got a good reputation for itself as well. A lot of people have recommended that I have a taste of some of these beers, but it's only just now that I've actually been able to get around to doing this. But yeah, better late than never, they should say. But really, that's all you need to know about the company just now. From what I gather, I'm not sure if Niklas Lenkel is still involved in the company. I couldn't really figure that out from the articles and stuff that I was reading, but the other two, Niklas Jakobsson and Thomas Hallgren, are still involved in it as well. And of course you've got Mimi and Emil there as well. But yeah, interesting company this one. If you want to learn a little bit more, check out the brewery website. You can follow them on Facebook and keep up to date with all the latest goings on. They also have an Instagram as well that you can follow, and again, that's a good way to keep up to date with all the latest goings on there. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about the brewery, so we can get rid of the brewery notes if my computer decides it's going to close. But yeah, I'll let you have a little look at the artwork then, and we can get on with the tasting. So quite nicely presented, this beer. I can't remember actually where I picked this one up. I can't remember if I got this in Stockholm or I'm not sure, to be honest, where I bought this one. But plain bottle cap on this. It is also an ekologisk beer, or organic if you want to translate that into English, but comes in at 4.1% raspberry sour beer. So yeah, I guess we'll open it up and see how we get on. Not much more to say about it, but yeah. Nice little bit of smoke on the opening, and we'll get it out and into the glass. Oh, you can smell some of those lovely raspberries off this already. There you go. So yeah, pretty much as you would expect in terms of colour from a raspberry sour. So So a nice, if I hold it up to the light, it's not too red, if that makes sense. It's not the reddest or pinkest of raspberry beers that I've come across. The light through the back is shining quite nicely, and you can see it's just got this nice red tinge to it, but it's still a good little bit, it's almost a little bit of a reddy orange, I would say, with this one. The head has a little tinge of pink to it, but still it's almost like a kind of fawny sort of pink colour. There's a solid, I would say, half finger of head on this one. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, quite a few little ones heading up towards the bottom of that head there. But you know, nothing surprising in terms of appearance for this one. It looks pretty much as you might expect from this beer. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with this one. Ooh, yeah. That smells pretty nice. So yeah, some really nice sort of raspberry juicy notes. It doesn't smell too tart, this one. It does smell more kind of sweet and juicy. Underneath that you can definitely pick up, there's a little bit of a grassy hop coming out of this one. You can smell a little bit of the tartness. I'm not sure if it's lactobacillus or Brettanomyces that they've used in this one. I don't know if it says. It just says a sour ale with a massive amount of organic raspberries. And it doesn't actually say whether they've used Brettanomyces or lactobacillus in this one. I guess it would be one of the two. But yeah, lovely, more juicy raspberry note to this one. But yeah, you can smell a little bit of that kind of tart, lemony citrus that you would expect from the sort of wild yeast strains. Nice bit of a kind of bready note to it as well. It's almost, to me, yeah, this beer almost has just, it almost reminds me a little bit of some of these Munch Bunch yogurts, the sort of petit filou type things that my mum used to put in my lunchbox when I was a little kid. The aroma of this beer really reminds me of that. But yeah, lovely juicy raspberry notes, a little bit of grassy hop in there, some kind of tart citrus, a little bit of a white bready note as well, and it almost, to me, as I say, it reminds me a little bit of some of these kind of yogurty, these sort of yogurt things that my mum used to put in my lunchbox when I was young. A bit of a nostalgic one. That's why I always love trying some of these sour beers. But yeah, these guys are producing a good few sour beers. If you're interested in Swedish sour beers, Temple Brewinghus, there is Stockholm Brewing Company, of course, as well, Örebro Brewinghus, but probably the biggest one we have in Sweden is, of course, Bryggeriet, who are from Landskrona here in Skåne in the south of the country. But yeah, take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this beer before you get stuck in. But let's have a taste of this one. So this one is the Hallon Sour from Stockholm Brewing Company up in Stockholm here in Sweden. Let's get stuck into this one. First taste of a beer from this brewery. Slanje, skål. Yeah, it's a nice beer, this one. It's one of these ones that's just ridiculously drinkable. Really easy to drink. Yeah. I mean, let's say this, it's not the tartest of beers. This one is, it really is just very sessionable. 4.1%. You know, it's a little bit outside of the kind of Folksöl range, if you like. But that seems to be a kind of trend with these sour beers. You don't get too many high alcohol sour beers, to be honest. Most of them tend to be quite low alcohol, and it's probably something to do with how the yeast can actually operate and convert sugars and things like that. It's probably only able to do it within a kind of low alcohol range. You'd probably poison it if you go much beyond kind of 5% and things like that. Of course, you can get sour IPAs and stuff that are, you know, 6.5%, but you don't see, you know, 8-9% sour beers, at least not that I've seen in a long time. You don't get them in Sweden anyway, or even in Denmark as far as I know. You can maybe hear the rain outside. But yeah, with this one, nice kind of smooth malt base to this one. It is pretty much what you'd expect. I mean, there's a little bit of that kind of pale malty character that just blankets the middle of your palate. There is a little touch of sweetness to that as well. As I say, it almost makes me want to say yogurt, but not really. It doesn't have that much of a presence, but really it's just a pale malt base that blankets the middle of your palate there. On the sides of your palate, in the back corner of your tongue, tiny little bit of earthiness there. As you come further forward, you get maybe just a little touch of floral quality, but the sides of your palate are very smooth. Round the front curve of your tongue, it's a little bit lighter and grassy, and then behind the front curve of the palate, that's where you get some of the nice kind of fruity elements of the beer. But since this one's a sour beer and they've added fruit to the beer, what you always find with these is that you get the juicy fruity elements around the kind of front part of your palate. It's almost like the fruity character just kind of suppresses some of the IBUs of the beer, and the kind of raspberry notes are just kind of sitting there as well. Just in the inside, just from the curve on the inside of your palate a little bit, there is a little bit of a kind of, how would you say, there is a little bit of a kind of tartness to this one. There's just a little bit of that lemony, citrusy tartness that you would get from the Lactobacillus brettanomyces kind of thing in this beer. But yeah, really nice how this one's going together. I like how everything kind of joins together in this beer. It is really, really nice. So yeah, in terms of the fruity side of the beer, for me, there is a little bit of a candied strawberry or something like that. It always reminds me of these little heart-shaped sweets that you get in the Haribo Star Mix. This beer does have a little element of that to it. So you can pick up that on the front curve of your palate, and the further you go into the aftertaste, a little bit more of that comes out. The tart raspberries are sitting there, a little bit of the grassiness and some of the pale malt. That's really what your aftertaste is giving you in this beer. But overall, like I say, the main thing about this beer is just how sessionable it is. It's a ridiculously easy beer to drink that. So for me, thumbs up to Stockholm Brewing Company. This one, I'd love to see them do a few other sours and see how they would get on with those. But raspberry sours, you know, seem to be one of the main things. Blueberry sours are fairly popular as well. But yeah, overall, a really nice beer, and I certainly look forward to trying some of the other things from this brewery. So I'll need to have a little look on Systembolaget and see what else I can actually get from these guys. As I say, my first time tasting one of their beers. But yeah, that's, you know, very, very straight up, this one. But it's one of these beers that is very straight up in terms of its flavour profile, but just really quite well done. So as I say, thumbs up to Stockholm Brewing Company. In terms of the mouthfeel then, fairly light-bodied this beer. Carbonation's quite smooth. The mouthfeel overall is pretty wet actually. Little bit of tiny little bit of bitterness from the hops, but mainly quite smooth. Nice little bit of tartness from the yeast in this one. Good bit of juicy fruity quality, maybe a little bit of the tartness comes from that as well, and pardon me, the malt base is quite smooth and almost just a little touch sweet as well. But overall, very, very nice beer, and I'm glad I was able to try this one. So yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. So this one was the Hallon Sour, the Raspberry Sour from Stockholm Brewing Company in Stockholm here in Sweden. A really nice, just easy going, sessionable beer, and I really like these low alcohol sour beers. They are just nice and easy drinking. So I look forward to trying more from these guys, particularly in the sour range, but I'll see what else I can get from them too. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Stockholm Brewing Company, and hopefully I can return to these guys in the near future. Make sure you check out my social media, and I will catch you guys very soon. This was the Hallon Sour from Stockholm Brewing Company in Stockholm here in Sweden. Until the next time, slander just now, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Skål.